Hello, empowered woman. Welcome to part 2 of the Visible, Productive, and Profitable series. Today I'm going to be talking about how not to suck at market research. Yes, your coach told you to survey your audience and find what keeps them awake at night, except you're not sure what questions to ask. Or even when you do ask questions, all you get is crickets. Are you ready to change that? Then let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Empowered Woman Podcast, the #1 show on personal development for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to stop spinning your wheels trying random personal development resources and actually boost your confidence to show up fearlessly in your life and business, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again. Let's dive into today's episode.
All right, first and foremost, I want to apologize for the audio quality of yesterday's episode or the last episode. I did not realize that the sound was not coming from a microphone. It was not, my microphone was not selected when I was recording, so it was coming from my headphones, and that's why it was kind of muffled, and then you could hear some little sounds here and there, but by the time I noticed that, I was already ready to get the thing uploaded. I didn't want to re-record it. I hope the value of the episode trumped the bad quality, but let me know. So here we are, day 2 of this 3-part series, Visible, Productive, and Profitable. Yesterday, I talked about the 2 types of entrepreneurs and really encouraged you to be more nurturing to yourself because that's what a true and successful entrepreneur does. They learn to focus more on the positive things, on the things that work so that they can reproduce that instead of beating themselves up over and over again because that gets you stuck. That doesn't get you anywhere, right? It doesn't get you farther along in your journey. And one of the quotes that I extracted from this with my whole repurposing, which, by the way, I hope you went and checked out all of my content. I had so much fun creating a poll, a question, a quote. I did a live video. I did a post. I even did a reel on Instagram. I'm kind of addicted to those. I'm trying to make a reel a week and thinking of different fun ideas to put my content in a reel, which that's a different way of repurposing as well. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you go on and check that out. It's just Marta Spurk. And one of the quotes that I extracted from my live video yesterday that people resonated with so much was, you have one job as an entrepreneur, and that is to encourage yourself to keep going. Isn't that so true? This is what you need to do because you don't have a boss, you don't have anyone telling you to keep going. And even if you do have a support system and somebody to cheer you on, they're not with you all of the time. And one of my friends actually commented and said, I do encourage myself most of the time, but then I also look for encouraging people like you, Marta, and other coaches to encourage me. And I said, hey, there's no shame in that. Because if you didn't need someone like me, then I would be out of a business, not out of a job. I'd be out of a business. But the thing is that your voice is the voice you listen to the most. Of course, we need support. Of course, we need someone to help us, especially through rough times. But at the end of the day, you have to learn how to do that for yourself because no one's going to be with you all the time. You are. All right, so let's move on to the second part, and today talking all about market research. And I want to ask you and be honest with yourself, do you suck at market research? I say this because I've struggled with this, okay? I have had coaches, mentors, and I'm sure you have to tell you, hey, you need to go and see what your audience needs from you. But I never really got a whole lot of clarity as to how exactly I do that. Do I just post questions? Do I do... I've seen people say, if you get on a call with me for 15 minutes so I can ask you some questions, I'll give you a gift card. And there's just different techniques and strategies. And ultimately, this year, I have found a better way. So if you post questions and nobody answers, nobody engages, or if you don't even know where to start or what to ask, then this episode is for you. And I hope you get a lot of clarity with this. So I want to start really piggybacking on yesterday, on last episode, talking about you nurturing yourself, because this is the missing link, and this is what I have realized. You've also heard probably from a mentor saying, don't treat people like numbers. You have to create a relationship. You have to create a connection, right? Treat them like a human being, and then they will want to work with you. They're going to feel attracted to you. That makes a lot of sense in theory, but in practice it's a little bit tricky. And the reason that is because there's a missing link there that most coaches are not talking about, but I am going to tell you right now. The reason why you haven't been able to really connect with your prospects in a way that makes them feel heard and seen and want to work with you is because you have not connected with yourself enough. You are not seeing yourself as a person because you show people how you want to be treated. The way you treat yourself is the way people are going to treat you. So if you're not paying closer attention to yourself, guess what? You're not showing yourself fully, and that's why people cannot connect with you. Does this make sense? And I get this may be different from what you have learned, but let me share 3 steps not to suck on how not to suck at market research and really create the perfect marriage between what you can offer and what people want from you. Isn't that what we want at the end of the day as business owners? We want people. We want to find our expertise, find our genius, and find a way to showcase that so that people are interested, and then you can monetize it, okay? So the very first step goes back to what I said yesterday. It's notice yourself. Notice that there is a person within you that deserves your attention. Because if you don't know how to do that to yourself, how are you going to learn how to do that with other people? And that's why this is so beautiful, because this step will help you improve not only your relationship with your clients and build your business, but your marriage. It's going to help you with your relationship with your kids, with your parents, with friends, because you're going to be more aware of your boundaries, of who you truly are, what you like and what you don't. And so when you notice yourself, when you notice there is someone there, you're able to become your best coworker, your best partner, your best boss. And I expanded more on this yesterday. So if you haven't listened to part 1, go back and learn to pay closer attention to yourself, understand, your boundaries and what you like, what you don't like. And it's introspective work. It's what I've been talking about here on the podcast for the last 2.5 years, okay? So this is step number 1. Connect with yourself, and you will connect better with your audience. I'm telling you, 100 billion%, because this is what has happened to me. And usually, we don't think that that's where we need to start. So that's why I said this may be different from what you've heard, but stick with me, because this is what's made the difference in my business. And go and ask successful entrepreneurs, and they will tell you the same thing, except they may not tell you exactly how to do that. They just say, this is what you need to do. But this is what I have been dedicating my entire business to do, is to help you connect with yourself so that then you can connect with your audience in a more authentic and genuine way. So that was step number 1. Step number 2, listen to yourself. Take time to listen to yourself and recognize your skills and your expertise. What can you talk about for 30 minutes with ease? What do people compliment you on or always ask you more about? And this has been true for me in terms of time management, in terms of content creation. I never really saw myself digging deeper into this topic. And that's because I was trying to force my vision upon people, upon my audience, instead of learning how to create that perfect marriage of what I want to talk about, what I really am good at talking about, and what people want to hear. This is deep. Okay? So be very clear on what your genius is, but also on what people ask you about, because it may not be exactly the same, but you're going to find that middle ground on how to combine the two. Because here I am talking about content, talking about time management, but I'm also talking about personal development. Do you see what I'm doing here? It's genius. I am talking about what I want to talk about, but I am giving you what you want to hear. I am using what I have heard from my audience that they want, but I am pushing my preferred content, which is connect with yourself. And this is really what has made my business grow and what has made my clients' businesses grow, is learning to connect with themselves, okay? And then the third step really is a culmination of all of these things is forgive yourself. Feel the fear of experimenting and do it anyway, because one of my mentors not a couple weeks ago said, this thing, building a business, it's a big experiment. It really is, because it's you finding what works for you and finding what your audience wants from you and making it work in whatever circumstances you find yourself in. Think pandemic, think 2020, you know? So this step really is building upon what I just said. Take what you can talk about and convey it in the way your audience wants to hear. So you're going to give them what they need, which is your expertise, but you're going to be using the language that they want to hear. They're going to take it because you're using their language. And I'm sure you've heard this from your mentors as well. Market research, you want to have them answer questions so that you can then get their language and use it in your content. Yes, that's what that is. But it's still your content. It's still your expertise. You are just coding it with what they think they need, which is what they want, and giving them your expertise in return. Okay, so this will take experiment. This will take experimenting, but have fun. Take it as a fun challenge. And don't beat yourself up. If you ask a question nobody answers, just keep asking questions, because this is a way for you to keep refining your message. And this is what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, is how repetition and repurposing is the best thing you can do to master your message and to have people connect with you and to become more visible. Repetition and repurposing helps you master your message and helps you become more visible, because you're saying the same thing over and over again. People are going to start catching on. So how do you get better at asking better questions so that people connect and answer? You practice. And this is exactly what I am going to be talking about and helping you implement in my Signature Talk Confidence workshop coming up Thursday. If you haven't registered yet, register now. I am so excited because by having this crazy idea last minute to do this 3-part series, 3 people registered yesterday for the workshop. So don't miss out. We're gonna meet on Thursday, November 12th, 3 p.m. Mountain Time on Zoom. $47. Link is in the show notes. And I'll give you some little assignments right away as you register so that you can start getting ready and really get a head start, so that when we meet, you already have some stuff ready and we can get down to the meat and potatoes and roll up your sleeves and get down to business right away, so you can walk away with a lot of content and a lot of clarity. It's going to be amazing. I hope you're enjoying this series. Check back in tomorrow for the third and final part.